No, I don't think there will be a recurrence because I think the people of the community and on the system are satisfied. The water has improved, and we still expect better improvement in it, and I think the people as a majority think that it was being handled properly.
Why were you fired?
For dealing with racism, double standards, housing, jobs, etc., here in this funky so-called city of excellence.
Do you think that since the Council of Churches is behind the Block Partnership organization, was there any political motivation in
Hell yes. Hell yes.
Part of Mayor Jonsson?
The Council of Churches board is saturated with Citizen Charter Association folk. The big boys. The whole the Council of Churches is caught in a bag too, just like Poor Block Partnership is caught in a bag. All hands are tied. That's these big heavy dealers behind the scenes that are calling the shots. That are on all the boards, you know, and they make the Council of Churches dance by its music. They make Block Partnership. They make all organizations. Urban, any organization that's out here in this community, you know, is dancing by Big Daddy downtown.
On this rainy Saturday afternoon, a very important organizational meeting took place here in Fort Worth at the home of Charles Curtis. It's important to the youth who met here. They call themselves the Concerned Youth for American Prisoners of War. Several youth showed up for the meeting today to map plans for their organization to raise money to go to Paris and possibly Vientiane, Laos. I asked 17-year-old Charles Curtis, the organizer of the drive to go overseas, about the POWs, what he feels that the youth can accomplish that hasn't already been done.
We can show the North Vietnamese and Viet Cong representatives in Paris, and through them their governments back home. That the youth of the United States, and at least particularly from this area, does indeed care about our prisoners. We're concerned about them. We want them home with their families, not necessarily just because they're friends and relatives, but because we are concerned with the fact that they are humans and they are being mistreated. It's estimated that $8,000 to $10,000 will be needed to go to Paris, and up to $20,000 to go to Vientiane.
For how many people?
This would be for 4 or 5 young persons and 1 adult escort.
The Concerned Youth for American POWs plan to raise their money through garage sales, rummage sales, bake sales, possibly even a rock concert. They said they weren't going to solicit contributions to the group, but they said they would accept them. The rainy day hasn't dampened their spirits any here today. If anything, the discussions today have increased their determination to reach their goal. Jim Green, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
These wax figures at the Wax Museum at Dallas Fair Park are going to be moving. Not literally, but they are going to be taking up residence in a new location. So we thought we'd come over, talk to one, and find out, why are you going to be moving?
Because we need more room. We don't have enough space here.
What is the space problem you have? I know that there are a great number of exhibits here, but are you planning to expand?
We're planning to expand about twice the size we presently are.
How long have these figures been on display?
Since September of 1963.
Now, about this expansion program, where are you going to be moving and when?
On East Thornton Freeway by Jim Miller Road.
I believe there's a sign up there now that says Wax Museum.
That's correct.
When do you think this move is going to take effect?
We plan to move by February 1st of 72.
In other words, you're into a construction phase now and will be actually moving in a year?
Well, our plans are being drawn now, but we think we can move that fast.
At what expense?
Well, that is going to be terrific. It's going to be terrific. We haven't got it down to the last dime yet, but it's going to be very costly.
Well, I'd like for you now to meet the brains behind this dummy, Mr. Tom Bolton. Come on out here, Tom. You are the top man here at the Wax Museum at Dallas Fair Park. For how long?
Well, ever since we started. Actually, we started in the fall of 1962 with our research and planning, and we opened for business September 15th, 1963.
This gentleman, Tom Bolton, is no dummy. He is the head man of the Wax Museum here at Dallas Fair Park. However, as for the man who did the interviewing, well, this dummy, Jim Mitchell, is Channel 8 News on the Move.
we've done as well in this appropriation bill, if not better, than we've ever done in the past. Like any appropriation bill, it does not include everything that we needed or that we wanted. But overall, I'm pleased with the appropriation bill.
What's your prediction on the size of the eventual tax bill?
For the entire biennium, it will be in excess of $1 billion in new taxes.
That's the highest figure we've heard yet. What happened to the $660 million and some of these others?
Well, of course, that includes only a one-year budget for welfare. We're going to have to be back here, even under the best of circumstances, in a special session next year to fund welfare for the second year of the biennium. I'm including the projected cost for welfare in the biennium, and it is over $1 billion.
I would like to see a relatively young man. I want to see one who's aggressive. I want to see a moderate, one who can help bring all of the elements of the party together. I think we're going to have some tough campaigns in 1972 with the Republicans, and I think we need that kind of chairman of the State Democratic Executive Committee.
Speaking about young Democrats running against the Republicans in 1972, do you think the Democrats are going to maintain control of this state?
Yes, I think we will. I think we're going to have some very fine candidates. I think it's going to be a tough race.
Who's going to be the next governor?
I don't know. One certainty I know about politics is when you talk about a period of time is its uncertainty.
What their backgrounds are in education and experience, and what their merits are in what they have done. See if you can't understand what it takes to head up a great city, to be an official of any kind in a great city. See if the leadership characteristics are there in the people for whom you will cast your ballot. Recognize that a big city is a big business, that the amount of money spent each year in our town now is getting very close to $250 million when you consider both operating and capital budgets. Remember that the basic problem of a city is to help people live together in some kind of reasonable harmony, and that takes management of problems and management of a great organization to assist in providing the solutions for those problems.
Three of these chairs at this table in the Fort Worth School Board meeting room are up for grabs. In place 5, Mrs. Jack O. Shannon faces Dr. Jack L. Turner. Place 6 shows Curtis B. Kirkpatrick bidding against Stan Harrell. In place 7 pits incumbent Bill Elliott against Mrs. Wilba Burton Alleman. Using absentee voting as a barometer, a light turnout is expected, even lighter than the 14,400 who cast ballots 2 weeks ago. When absentee polls closed Tuesday, 180 people had voted, compared to 333 2 weeks ago. The runoff winners will serve 5-year terms on the school board. The vote will be canvassed, made official, and the new members sworn in on April 28th. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth.
Ron, you must be terribly excited about things that are appearing in 1971.
Yes, Vern. Everything's going great for soccer, both professional and amongst the children, you know. Possibility of getting into the Dallas schools this coming year. This is exciting, and 3 new teams for this 71 season. By all accounts, from head office, it seems there's a lot of more people looking for franchises. You know, it's going to be harder to get franchises now. Yet 2 years ago, of course, we'd like to give them away, but now everybody's wanting them. So this is just progress.
You know, I know how hard you've worked, and John Best and all of those who've been here during the off season in inculcating the program into the younger grades. It must have been a tremendous boost to you to realize that the Dallas Independent School District might go ahead and include soccer next year.
Oh well, we were excited. I don't know what took them so long, personally, but you know, now they've accepted it. You know, it'll only go up. You know, and they'll be surprised at what a good program they'll get from it.
Cal, we kept reading reports out of Fernandina Beach, Florida, and according to the writers who were there, things seem to be progressing very, very well in the formation of this year's team.
Well, Vern, I think we had a pretty good spring. Of course, I was a little bit disappointed the caliber of people that we had to play. You know, I like to play some AA clubs and play some AAA clubs more than we got the opportunity to do. However, we did come along very well in the spring. Fortunately, we didn't have any injuries, and all of our fellows seemed to get in good physical shape, even with the bad weather that we had. So I was very pleased with the way our spring went, and I think that we came out of spring training in good shape.
You know, I gather from reading those reports from Florida that you would not expect this year's club to be primarily a long ball club, going more to speed.
Well, I think we have to agree that we don't have a power-hitting ball club, Vern. However, you know, we talk about the power hitting and the hitting ball club and the speed and all this sort of thing. Sometimes I think that maybe the power is a little bit overrated. When I talk about power, we have fellows here that can hit that extra base hit for us, and fellows that can run. So some of these fellows that hit that ball up the alley might have 2 or 3 bases out of it. So this also is a power club from that standpoint. When I speak of power, I speak of the home run power. The home run power we just don't have.
What's your name? Ray Purifoy. How you feel, Ray? Pretty good. Do you feel full? Yeah. Do you need a regurgitating bag? No, thank you. How about one more? What? One more burger. For the burger? No, thank you.
As a matter of fact, the contract, the law under which Baylor will receive this money specifically provides that the state cannot even negotiate for any change in their form of practice or their administrative procedures or any matter related to the operation of those two schools. Baylor has simply said to us, we want all the money we can get from you and leave us alone. Don't bother us with all that other stuff that you bother those Texas schools with. We want to continue to decide who goes to Baylor. We want to continue to decide the salaries we pay the people who work for Baylor. We want to continue to decide all the facets of the private school privilege that we now have. But we want your money to help us do it. And taxpayers ought not to have to bear that burden.
I think that's a bad ruling. I don't see any equity there. I doubt very seriously that there was ever the intent of the United States Congress, and I think a very definite inquiry into it should be made.
Will you, as a U.S. Senator, maybe initiate this inquiry?
I'll be very pleased to. I'm delighted that you brought it to my attention.